going westbound. This is what gets me. He's not going my way. But the lights go on, and I'm looking in my mirror to see who we got. So he made that quick U-turn in the highway, so I did the same thing, and I waved to him when I passed. We have any Canadians here? Hey, who said hey? That's what they say, and we all hate that. They go hey, and we go, huh? And it means the same thing, but when you don't know it, it throws you off guard. I'm in a hotel, the maid cleans up the room, goes, have a nice weekend, A. My wife like, don't have a nice weekend, B. Come here, all the above. Ew. I think they use the A so they can spell their country easier. C, A, N, A, D, A. I got my first ticket in Canada, actually. Because I'm used to what we have, miles per hour, right? 30 means 30. They have kilometers. Yeah, well, I didn't know 30 meant 18 or whatever. I don't know. I saw a sign 100, and I'm flying down the road. I'm waving at their cops. Thanks, appreciate it. They're waving back. And I got a fast car. I got an 87 Vette, beautiful little Chevette, thank you. I impressed you for a split second, didn't I? It's a two-seater, too, one for each cheek. I just get my butt in there and I'm gone.
What inspired you to become a stand-up comedian?
Class clown. I think that was my inspiration. I guess when you're a big kid, and I kept that weight, your insecurities, I guess that's what it is. And if you become a laugher, you know, and you make fun of everything, that was pretty much it. Don Rickles was one of my favorites, George Carlin, and I think between the two of them, then you have Al Katz.
No, but here's where we're going to get our money back. Here's where we're going to step over that line. Right next to the cash register, there's a suggestive rack. Impulse items, right? We all know that rack? Twinkies, ho-hos, ding-dongs, fruit pies, apple turnovers. Big guy, you know that rack. Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. We got a new leader. So here's what I want you to do. When you go up to that rack, here's how you get your money back. When the owner comes up, you're not the manager, but the owner. When he comes, you know, the guy with the dot, he will be there in 5 seconds. Hey, Frank, and if you feel lucky, scratch it off. You might win a trip to Mexico. I spent 4 weeks doing comedy in Mexico. I even learned Spanish. So when I get back to Florida, I can understand my neighbors. That's all they speak, man. You know what my next door neighbor calls me? El Gato Gordo. Fat cat. Because I'm fat and my name is Katz. You know what I learned that day? I learned if you're in a single parent relationship, whatever you say to that child, it gets back to the ex-spouse. So if there's anyone in this situation, you want to get something back, step over that line. Teach the kids something new. Mommy's a hoe. By the way, that paid off at Christmas. My ex takes my daughter to the mall to see Santa Claus. Santa goes, oh, oh, oh. And my daughter goes, Mommy, he knows you. Oh, this is deep sleep right here. Turn on both lights at the same time and just start screaming, car! Look out for the car! They look up, they see 2 headlights. That's funny to me. It's funny to you. And I will warn you, you may have to change the sheets. You know someone's going to do it. Now, men, if a woman does this to you, I want you to step back over that line, and here's how you get that little revenge. And all you need is this little thing called snap pops. Remember those when you were growing up? Yeah, those little firecrackers rolled up in a little white piece of tissue. You throw it down on a hard surface, they explode. Get these. If you have a woman living in your home, get these. Take them home. Lower the toilet seat onto the bowl. How many men want to go home right now? Because we know one thing as a man, right? When the seat's down, you women do not lift it. We have you right here in the palm of our hands. Picture where the seat hits the bowl, those little rubber parts it rests on. There's 2 on each side, here, here. They're only this long. You can put 12, maybe 15 snaps under each one of these. And you don't have to be a RIT grad to realize ×4, that is power. You're going to be in the living room sitting down watching TV together like I was. You're going to see her walking down that hallway and you got Doritos coming out your nose over here. Your dog is coughing up salsa because he's partners with you. That's why he's man's best friend. And there she goes into the bathroom. The door closes 5, 6 seconds later. We have liftoff. Give the dog a low five. We got her, boy! Why am I single? Stuff like that. My ex told me to read this book called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I read the book. You know what I learned? We're from different planets. A woman laying on a bed trying to bring up a zipper on a pair of jeans that will never be zipped. I want every man in this room to look at me right now. I want you to look at me. I want you to learn from my mistake. Do not laugh when you see this. Oh, yes, it's funny, but you cannot laugh. If you're in a relationship, you already know where I'm going on this. And I'm looking at her, and that it wasn't much of an infraction. And then she did something that completely threw me off guard. She took a coat hanger. See, you hear the women laugh? They know what I'm talking about. Coat hanger. What are you going to do with a coat hanger? You know the part on a metal coat hanger, the part that goes over the rod, they straighten that out. That little point part right there, they put that in the whole part of the zipper. They crimp it down, and then they use that as like a fulcrum. And then she's trying to lift the zipper, hit herself right in the mouth. See, I laugh too. That is funny to me. I'm on the floor choking. She goes, what the hell's so funny? I'm like, nothing. I told myself a joke in the bathroom. I love you.
How long have you been paid to do stand-up? And what'd you do before you got into stand-up?
I was in retail marketing in Chicago, Illinois, and I had a friend of mine that says, hey, you should try comedy. You're kind of a funny guy. And there was a club in Chicago called the Comedy Womb, W-O-M-B, and that was the birthplace of comedians. And I started there in the 70s, and I have been doing this 27 years right now, and I love every minute of it.
It's out of all these women enrolled here, 42% are gay, and we'd appreciate you not mentioning anything. So you knew I stepped over that line. I hit the stage, the first thing out of my mouth is, isn't it amazing that 42% of you women want the same thing I do? This woman got picked up for check fraud. She wrote over $150,000 of bad checks. They caught her, they threw her in jail, they posted a bond, she paid by check, and they accepted it. I check into the Jameson Inn, nice hotel. The lady at the counter says, I need your name, sir. I go, it's Katz, K-A-T-Z. She goes, what's your last name, sir? Now, will you tell me how you react to that? Not only did I give her my name, I spelled it. And I just looked at her, and I'm a smart ass. I go, Mrs. Gump, do you know anyone with the first name of Katz? And I took a step back, I crossed my arms, I'm looking at her, and I'm like, what? She goes, I need your last name. I go, in the hat, and she typed it. My receipt says Katz in the hat. There's more. I bring the receipt back to the club because they need it for tax purposes. The manager looks at me and goes, why are you messing with the people at the hotel? I don't know what you're talking about. Look at this, do you live in Seussville? Yes, sir, right there in Green Eggs and Ham Boulevard. Say, do you know your hat's on backwards, man? You know in prison that means they call you a catcher, and baseball's got nothing to do with it? Guy's looking at me like he's watching a Weather Channel waiting for his city to pop up. We don't like doctors for the exact same reason. They don't know the difference of this number and this number. Because when we have a 2 o'clock appointment, it's 5 o'clock when they see us. Real quick, all right, Mr. Katz, the doctor will see you. No, they don't. They take you down the hallway, put you in that first examination room. You sit there for another half hour, 40, looking around to see how much stuff you can steal. You don't even know what it is. So I'm on the table 53 minutes. I'm looking at my watch. Almost an hour goes by. I look to my left. It's the doctor. He looks at me. I looked at him. He goes, I'll be right back. Close the door. The son of a gun took off. But I don't get mad anymore in my life. I step over that line. I have fun in my life. 2 days later, my agent called me and said, Al, I got a private show for you. 265 doctors. Interested? So I'll do it for free. I'm backstage in the auditorium. I hear, ladies and gentlemen, Al Katz. And I walk out and good evening. How are you? I'll be right back. I was out of there, never showed back up. What I'm going to teach you guys right now You will never buy another stamp the rest of your life. I found this out by mistake. I am here to share. Because I mailed out a letter and I forgot to put a stamp on the envelope. We all know what happens. It comes right back to you. Return to sender. There's my name and address in the return address area. Because of this, I got the letter in 3 days. Let's all use our heads together now. Next time you mail out a letter, you address everything to yourself. The person you send it to, you put their name and address in the return address area. Do not put a stamp. Free delivery. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Hey, one more time. Roll Katz, everybody.
What would you call your big break?
Wow, my big break. I remember when Pac-Man, the game Pac-Man came out. Mike Lederman from PM Magazine saw me and did a show for me. And next thing you know, my whole family saw me, on national TV, and they go, "Wow, that's our son. He used to be just a funny talker. Now he's a comedian." So that was a good break. That was one of my first TV shows. Oprah Winfrey. I've done 4 Oprah shows. That's helped. Just did a Today show. So all the TV over the years, that's helped.